Cult Pizza, a tale of the night floaters. You hungry? We were out at the silo, our town's numero uno party spot, the ruins of an old abandoned farm in the middle of an isolated field. We had been smoking, then drinking beer, and now we were ravenous. We talked of food, but how to get it. We were way too wrecked to drive. If only we could get Skip the Dishes, Trey said, which plunged us both into hysterical and raucous laughter. Could you imagine giving the address, eh? I said, laughing so hard I began to choke. When I want to know the address, you say, the old silo, you know, off the 4th line. Can you imagine the guy trying to put silo into his GPS, Trey said. That got us laughing again. God, we were two funny dudes. When we finally finished howling and got our breath back, I managed to choke out, "Think we could order a pizza?" That set Trey off, but he eventually managed to blurt out, "Hey, we should call that chain that claims to deliver anywhere on the planet." "We're still on the planet?" I said. More screaming laughter. When that had subsided, I said, quite seriously, or as serious as I could get, "What about trying that new place on Skid Row? Cult Pizza." "It's a cult?" Trey said, confused. "Well," I said, with as much gravitas as I could muster, "the rumor is that the staff are floaters. You know, night floaters." "What are the night floaters, you ask?" Floating heads, a.k.a. night floaters, or floaters, were a cult of strange beings, said to haunt our town. The name referred to the ability of cult members to detach their heads from the trunks of their bodies, the heads then being able to fly or float at will. They were said to attack unsuspecting victims, biting them, and sometimes even killing them. These flying heads made a moaning sound when far away, a wailing that faded to silence when they got closer. And they could also apparently animate their headless bodies and use them to chase and even strangle their victims. "I don't believe in that," Trace said with a sneer. "Maybe not," I said, "but you've got the floaters to thank for the fact we have this place to ourselves. Rumor has it that they hang around out here, which scares a lot of people off." Well then, if these pizza guys really are night floaters, they should be able to find and deliver to the silo. Well, that started us again, and when we finished braying like the jackasses we were, I called Cult Pizza. I was answered by a husky female voice, which announced, "Cult Pizza. We'd like to order a pizza and have it delivered to the silo." "You know where that is, eh?" "Oh, yes, we know where the silo is," she answered with a voice that seemed, to me, to be on the edge of mockery. "Are you there now?" "Yup. What toppings do you desire?" Well, Trey and I had a bit of a disagreement then. I wanted green pepper as a topping, but he shook his head no, claiming that green pepper made him fart. In the end, we went for bacon, mushroom, and pepperoni. When I asked how long we would have to wait, I was told less than 15 minutes. Well, I guess we'll find out what a cult pizza tastes like, I said to Trey. I just hope it don't give me the shits, was his answer. We whiled away the time with cigarettes and a fresh beer each, but after a few minutes, Trey said, "What's that sound?" "What sound?" That moaning noise." Sure enough, off in the night, you could hear a faint moaning sound, not much louder than the sighing of the wind. At first you could hear it distinctly, but then it faded away into nothing. "It must have been a car," I said. "We're not that far from the highway." "Car?" Trey sputtered. "That was a wolf or a coyote or something." "We don't have coyotes around here." "Damn right we do." But before we could argue the point, we saw it. We both saw it. It was a bright, full moon night. A bright, full super moon night. Everything stood out in brilliant detail, including the thing that was flying towards us. It was a head, a female human head, with flashing red eyes and long stringy hair flowing out behind it. Just a head, no body, a head flying through the air and carrying something in its mouth. A pizza box?" The head stopped right in front of us, hovering in midair. Instinctively, without thinking, I reached out and took the box from between her lips. "Your pizza," the floating head said in a husky voice, the same voice as the woman who had answered the phone at Cult Pizza. Up close, her face was thin, scarred by acne, and feral-looking. I was so stunned and, in my confusion, said the first thing that came to mind, which was, "How do we pay you?" "Oh," she said with a smirk, "we take cash, interact, or credit." And at that moment, her headless body, or at least a headless female body, lurched out of the darkness, right hand outstretched. I gave it $40. I didn't ask for change. And so how was the pizza? I didn't eat it, as Trey had taken off the minute the head appeared, and who wants to eat alone? The moral of the story? Always pack a lunch. It's safer and will help you get, financially, ahead. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs. Till midnight. Cheers. Pictures used in today's video, courtesy of Pix here, that's PX here, while the music was the classic Lightless Dawn by that patron of the internet, Kevin MacLeod. P.S. I made this recording using my new mic. Please let me know if you found my narration better, or worse, or about the same. Cheers.